The Las Vegas Raiders just made a bold move, drafting running back Ashton Jeanty, and I've got to say, I'm pumped. This pick isn't just good, it might be one of the most exciting moves the Raiders have made in years. Let me take you on a quick journey here. Imagine a player who has the speed to blow past defenders, the vision to read the field like a quarterback, and the strength to break tackles like it's nothing. That's Ashton Jeanty. If you haven't watched his highlights yet, do it. This guy's a walking, talking human highlight reel. Now, I get it. Some fans are already upset because he's a running back. Why take a running back so high, they say. But trust me, Jeanty isn't your average RB. This guy is special. I've always said I wouldn't support picking a running back early unless it was Jeanty. That's how good he is. Right now in the NFL, there are only a few running backs who live on a different level. Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson. And now, Ashton Jeanty joins that elite group. He's got the speed, the balance, the burst, and something more. He just knows how to make plays. Let's be real. Guys like Josh Jacobs have elite vision but lack that explosive top gear. Derrick Henry is a tank, but doesn't have the burst or field awareness Jeanty brings. But Jeanty, he's got it all. Speed, balance, agility, and vision. He's the full package. Bringing Jeanty to Las Vegas isn't just a smart move, it's a statement. The Raiders aren't playing it safe. They're building something explosive. Sure, fans are still hoping for a top quarterback or a solid cornerback in the next rounds. And yeah, we've talked a lot about fixing the offensive line. Names like Calvin Banks and Armin Emabai are still on the board. But for now, let's just take a second to appreciate this. The Raiders got a playmaker, a potential game changer. Ashton Jeanty is here, and the future just got a whole lot brighter. Here's the thing about Ashton Jeanty. He's not a surprise pick. In fact, from the very beginning, he's been that guy, the one fans whispered about, the one people kept pointing to saying, man, the Raiders need this dude. And guess what? The team clearly felt the same way. For months, there were hints. Quiet meetings, rumors. Our GM didn't say his name outright, but he dropped enough clues. Just a week ago, he asked, when do we stop acting like we can't draft a running back early? And honestly, most of us thought he meant the opposite, that we were passing on Jeanty. But nope. When the Raiders were on the clock with the 6th overall pick, they didn't hesitate. They went all in. They picked Jeanty. No tricks, no trades, just conviction. Here's something wild. Our GM was the only general manager who showed up at Jeanty's pro day. That's not a coincidence. That's commitment. The Raiders weren't just interested, they were invested. There were rumors that other teams, like the Browns, were looking to trade up to number 1. 5. They were chasing their guy too. In the end, Cleveland stayed put and drafted Mason Graham, and that left the door wide open for the Raiders to strike. And strike they did. Let's talk numbers for a second. Jeanty rushed for over 2,600 yards, scored 29 touchdowns, and averaged a mind-blowing 7 yards per carry. That's not normal. That's rare. Especially when you consider he ran the ball 374 times and still kept that average. Now, yeah, some critics will say, but he played in the Mountain West Conference. Sure. But Jeanty didn't just pad stats against small schools. He dominated Oregon, too. And Oregon's no joke. Bottom line, the stats are real. The tape is even better. And the Raiders didn't just get a solid player. They landed a star they've had their eyes on for a long time. If you watched Ashton Jeanty last season, you already know this guy was different. The tape doesn't lie, but even beyond the highlights, the numbers back it up. He wasn't just good, he was dominant. Jeanty crushed it in the advanced stats. His breakaway percentage? Off the charts. His ability to make defenders miss? Among the best in college football. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like something big could happen. So yeah, it's no surprise he became a top 10 draft pick. And it's no surprise the Raiders used the 6th overall pick to grab him. But what I love even more is the message behind the move. The Raiders had options. They could have gone defense. They could have taken a cornerback. But instead they said, we're going all in on offense. We're getting faster. We're getting better right now. Let's be honest, last season, the Raiders' offense lost its spark. After Davante Adams mentally checked out, the energy dropped. Brock Bowers was great, sure, but outside of him, there wasn't much firepower. And here's where Ashton Jeanty changes everything. This guy is a home run hitter. Every carry could be a touchdown. He gives the Raiders that electricity they've been missing. Of course, this only works if the offensive line holds up. It looks like DJ Glaze will stay at tackle, and yeah, he's still young. But I'd still love to see the Raiders pick up an interior lineman in the second or third round. Maybe a guard who can give this offense a real push. And hey, if the right cornerback drops, that could still be on the table too. But here's the bigger picture. The Raiders are clearly going all in. This isn't about building slowly over 5 years. This is about winning now. From the day John Spy and Pete Carroll walked into the building, that's been the goal. Even Max Crosby said he'll only stay if the team is serious about competing. Drafting Ashton Jeanty says just that. This team is done waiting. They're ready to fight. And Jeanty, he's leading the charge. You don't draft a player like Ashton Jeanty unless you're ready to compete. This move wasn't about building for the next 5 years. It was about winning now. The Raiders had a chance to take Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback who could be the future of the franchise, but they said no. They passed. Why? Because they're focused on today, not tomorrow. That's a message to the whole league. We're not waiting. We're going for it. And Ashton Jeanty, he's going to be the guy in this offense. Now, I'll be doing a full film breakdown on Jeanty soon, either later today or first thing tomorrow. I'm not going live. Too much going on right now, especially with the move. But the breakdown is coming, and trust me, the tape is fire. But let's talk about something else. Depth. Right now, the Raiders are loaded at running back. Raheem Mostert just came in. Zamir White is still here. So is Sincere McCormick. Dylan Lobb was drafted last year, and there are even more names in that room. By my count, that's 6 or 7 running backs on one roster. And you know what that means. We're going to see some cuts soon. In fact, before training camp even kicks off, I'd expect the Raiders to release 1 or 2 of these guys. Zamir White is already rumored to be on the trade block, and someone like Dylan Lobb, we still don't really know what he can do. The bottom line, Ashton Jeanty is the future of this backfield. He brings the kind of explosiveness this offense has been missing. But now the Raiders have to figure out who stays, who goes, and how this group will look when week 1 rolls around. Back when Pete Carroll was building powerhouses, he didn't settle for one explosive running back. He went and got 2. Not in the same year, but in back-to-back drafts. So here's the question. Could the Raiders do the same? This draft class is loaded with running back talent. We've never seen this much depth at the position. And with so many good names expected to still be on the board in rounds 4 and 5, could the Raiders double dip? It's possible. And honestly, it might be smart. From a depth perspective, you can never have too many playmakers, especially in a league where injuries happen fast. But let's not stop at running back. The Raiders also need help at wide receiver. Jeanty gives you speed and firepower out of the backfield. Now let's bring that same energy to the outside. There are some strong receiver prospects still on the board. Guys who might not be stars today, but with the right coaching, they could become serious threats. Take Kyle Williams, for example. He just needs a little development. And boom, he could be a game changer. Iowa State? They've got 2 wideouts in this class that are legit. Both are projected to go in the first 2 rounds. Bottom line, the Raiders nailed the Ashton Jeanty pick. I love it, but there's still work to do. So now I want to hear from you after months of talk. This guy, that guy, it's official. The Raiders went with Jeanty. What do you think? Drop a comment, hit that thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time.